Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back for some more space engineers. In today's video, well, we are going to give you guys a bit of an update on the drone setup that we have been building. So you can see drone number 1 just dropped in, and drone number 3 back there, Atmo 3, is actually taking off to our third mining base at this point. But you also see this is a square formation and it has 4 of them, so that's of course going to be what this video is about. But quick update on what I have been doing here. So first of all, I discovered that there's silver right underneath this spot, so once I can get the second piston going, we should be good for that. Until then, it's extra ice in the cube, so that is fine. Back there we have iron. Pretty soon I think the piston will be at its full 10-meter extension, so then I'll retract it, put a second one in there, and I think we should be able to hit iron at that point, maybe one more. And then over here, this is the third mining facility that I have built that is currently working on its second rotation with the second drill, just playing it safe a little bit. And for now it's bringing stone, but underneath this there should be some extra nickel. And so these are these standard facilities, but there's a bit of a hassle, a problem with this is that it takes quite a bit of resources to bring all of that here and to build that here. And so you can imagine that my rover actually needed like 5 medium containers to move everything in a single go. Very annoying. And so the next evolution for the mining setup is to use these drones. So there's drone number 3 that's coming to its waypoint, and then it should land perfectly on the rig. Let's take a quick look at that. But after that, of course, we are going to try and make a mobile drilling rig, or test a mobile drilling rig with everything on that. So you may have spotted that before. So as we slowly go down, I could have put this waypoint a little bit less high, save a little bit of time, save a bit of energy. But for now, if I'm not mistaken, we are fine. This is something that I do check decently regularly. Battery Atmo 3, yeah, look at that, it's up to 700, so it's absolutely fine. And I'm also well, a little bit late for that. It did damage its connector at one point, so I had to do these commands that when it reaches the above mining for the first time, it halves the speed, so it lands, and then when it goes back up, it doubles the speed again to move back towards the cube and land at a better place. But now look at that in the background. It's another big structure, or big, well, rover this time that I've prepared for the mobile drilling operation. And so this is the next upgrade, guys. I've got well, what I think should work. I haven't actually tested it out yet, and that's what we're gonna do here. But this is my mobile drilling platform. So we've got 5x5s on a large grid. Then back here we get an antenna. There's also a remote control block and a cockpit so that we can drive this to the right spot. Then we get 6 pistons with the drills and the rotor. I also have gyroscopes, because up here the plan is, well, I'm not sure if that's gonna work, but to connect this puppy to the cube and then to take it into space with us. That would of course be absolutely bonkers and cool. This moves up to a cargo container, then we get something that pushes everything up, connector, and an Atmo drone 4 who has his waypoints for base and above base ready. Is connected to this mobile drilling rig. Then we get some solar panels for power, a battery, and back here the ability to clamp ourselves down. So that should be pretty interesting. Now let's take our seat within the drilling rig. Let's press F on this one. Here it is, outside view. Let's also extend just a little bit more so that I can keep an eye on my drone. And I still have a little bit of stuff to do. You can see only the wheels are on, but we added these thrusters so that hopefully if I can take this stuff into space, we can have that move to an asteroid with resource as well, position it, and then do the same operation that I'm planning to do here on a planet. That would be cool. Maybe even 4 of them. Can you imagine all 4 sides of the cube having something like this on it? That would be perfect. Then we would be able to do almost anything, anywhere. Let's see if we can get this to work. One thing that I do still have to change, I'm going to go to I and we are going to go to the control panel is my thrusters. So all of these thrusters right here, they're on, we just don't have any hydrogen. And so what I kind of want to do is make that into a group. And so that's going to be thrusters for drill rig 04. So this is drill rig 4 for drone 04. I'm gonna press save on that one, and then we are going to press G so that I can move that here. It is thrusters drill rig 4, toggle on off, and we definitely want to toggle that one off. And now I have to be very careful because this rig is actually in a parking, and if I would disconnect the parking now, we would also lose the connection for the drone. And you know, I had a first go at making this video and we lost the drone because we just, you know, slid out from underneath it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if I can get that just straight from the control panel. It should have a group of wheels for drill 4, and then does it have like a parking? The brakes, here we go, they are on. Now these brakes are off, and then we should be able to activate, and now we should be able to drive without the drone falling down, and that's exactly what is happening. All right, here we go. This is on ice, so this is basically gonna be the hardest terrain for this rig to move. I reduced its max speed to like 20 kilometers an hour. We don't want this to spin or to fall. This is a huge facility, and then over there on the right, what you can see is that I have prepared a waypoint where we have some silicon and magnesium. That's basically where I want to set this rig up. So this is going to be decently slow, I think, but we are going to make it there. I can aim the cursor towards the waypoint like that, and here we go. This is the dream. I mean, slow and steady, that does tend to win the race, I think. We can go up to 5.5 meters a second. That's really slow. That's really slow. Let's see if it's like a setting or if it is because we're on ice. For now, everything is holding, and everything is actually surprisingly decently stable, I want to say. I don't feel like there's any real problems, so I feel like I could increase the speed a little bit. It's going to be on the control panel and probably on the wheels. What did I limit? Speed limit 20 kilometers an hour. It's not even getting there. So for that, I'll probably have to increase their power capacity. Do I want them to allow these to grab more power? Yeah, why the hell not? Let's see. Just give them 80% power. Let's go like that as we slowly still drift up on the ice. And yeah, still just 5.6. It's not like this is doing much, but we're getting there. Look at that. We're just 1.2 kilometers out from the resource, and that also gives me time to look around a little bit. My God, this is cool. So here is the cockpit, and then up here we have our hydrogen tank with potentially thrusters for space. This feels very, very stable. And you know, the front here is definitely very weird. You can see that I put up a connector, but also a landing gear, a bit of landing gear. And my idea here is that I want to have both options. I want to be able to connect this puppy with a connector, but I'm not sure if that's going to be stable enough to pull this guy up into space. But I think with landing gear, we should be pretty safe. And so that's the idea. You can imagine that instead of heading out towards the resource, we would actually be heading towards the large cube. I'm getting the feeling that there's a bit of spinning happening on the wheels, but all right. So you can imagine that we are approaching the cube, and then eventually we get right in front of everything. I can lock the connector, lock the landing gear, and then we should be able to take this guy into space as well. It is 187,000 kilograms. That's actually, I think, sort of okay. For something that's this goddamn huge. So there we go, 700 meters. We're slowly getting into range now. This guy won't climb mountains. So in all likeliness, if we want to use this one on other planets, we gotta find some nice and flat surfaces like this lake, which is also the reason why I moved here, of course. But yeah, overall, I like how strong and stable this feels. My other rover, you know, there's really a risk for flipping over, especially when I would brake. So that's something that we gotta be careful of. But for this one, slow and steady. This is reminding me, number one, a little bit of like the old drills for or derricks, I think they're called, for oil, right? So this is definitely like just a massive amount of pistons that are gonna push drills through the mine towards our valuable resources, and then yeah, you almost have like a rig that you see on the oceans in reality, except this one is on wheels and also has some thrusters so that we could deploy that this puppy into space, and then on top of that, you can see here Atmo 4 is ready to go once it harvests some resources. So up we go. Ooh, there is a big shadow here, but we're gonna move ourselves right past that. And in fact, I do have a visual here as well on the right. 4 more resources. So I think with this one, which is something that I can't really do that well with some of the other craft that I've been using to scout this stuff out. Look at how easily recognizable these resource patches are. We're actually gonna put ourselves on the big one here. That's like a very pronounced dark spot. So kind of wanna put myself right on top of that one if I can. Let's start braking just slowly, yeah, and then we will make our way up there. But look at how easily I can now see, okay, there's resources here. Ooh! And that was a backwards brake attempt from me. That is a little bit risky. Look at that. So we do, yeah, it's on the ice. We're definitely below our potential, and then I do see a little bit of shaking from the pistons and the drills, which for me is actually absolutely fine. So I think we're in a good spot. I am going to keep these, maybe I'll try turning them off, but then rather than using parking, which would be a little bit of a problem, we are going to move into its control panel. And then I'm going to use the hinge. Where are you, hinge? And it is now set at 0.10 in one direction, and I'm going to reverse this guy. So that should lower the hinge at the back. It's set to a lower limit of 90%, upper limit of 0%, so it either goes fully horizontally, or let's go outside of this. I think we're in a good spot. This should be a good spot. Or it goes completely vertically, and so this is here at the back. There's the hinge with a landing gear, and this is basically how I am planning to secure the whole facility to the ground. And yeah, I think that's right on top of some dark stuff, so that should be good. Now look at what happens. I do think that this is pretty damn cool, and it should be the right calculations as well. If I want to get the connector to the exact correct height for the cube over there, then it needs to go to 90%, to a full 90 degrees, so completely vertical. But you can see now, I think it's starting. We're touching the ice here, and we're starting to lift the back wheels. So this puppy should really not be moving anymore. How powerful is this hinge? That is crazy. Super cool. So this is always a delicate operation. I think in real life as well, setting up a drilling rig is a delicate operation, and that's what I'm doing right here. Slow and steady, as my landing gear is going to drag the back of the drilling rig up, completely upright itself, and then normally when I press the landing gear to connect, what happens, or to lock, is it's also going to push the front up. It's going to fully upright the drill, and then we should be ready for drilling. Let's see if it works. So we can already lock at this point, and with auto lock, if you want to just get this done as quickly as possible, you can do that. But I kind of feel like we should try to go fully vertical on this one. So we're just gonna allow it to keep going until it reaches its full 90 degrees angle. So you can see it's now just slowly setting the rig in its exact central position. But this axis is still, there you can see that, not fully straight, not completely straightened out, as there's a bit of room here and not on the front wheels. But we're almost there, I think. There we go. We're at 90% or 90 degrees angle for the hinge. That means that I go back into drill rig 4, and then we're gonna look for its landing gear. Where are you? It's got 2 of them, but let's see here. Landing gear, and the number 2 is the one at the front. So here I'm going to press lock, and there we go. Final little push from the hinge. Oh no, it did not this time lift lift the front wheels. We'll have to see and figure out if that can be done. But all right, this should be secured. So now it is time to start our drilling operation. So drill rig, and then let's see here. I'm excited. I haven't tried this at all. Drills are on. That works, and it's already hitting the ice. And then I've got 6 pistons. I am going to immediately give them an order to start to push down. We're just going to give this a real try. 001. I mean, I want them to be very slow. But I do want all of them. I'm gonna really push this and see if we can get all of them to do that work, and if the drill can go to its maximum potential right away. So 0.001, there we go, number 5. And so this should be able to go probably 50-55 meters down pretty easily. 0.001. All pistons have been engaged. Everything is up and running. Inventory ice is starting to be pushed in. And then this is the one disadvantage of this setup, is that the connector needs to be fully filled before the connector for Atmo 4 and its medium container starts to fill up. So that's a little bit of like dead weight that will always carry with us. I could probably fix that with a little bit of extra settings and maybe a couple of extra conveyors and things like that, but I don't mind. It's 8,000 liters. That will not really make that big of a difference. But let's take a further away view of what's happening here. Here is the mobile drill that is currently drilling down this vein and into, I'm not exactly sure. It's probably gonna be silicon underneath this drill rig. And then there is antenna number 4, which once it's full, I'm going to try and give it its orders as well. Oh, I should maybe try to prep that now already as well, or not. Let's see. Can I just land on this, or will I fall in? Yeah, I can land on it. All right, good stuff. Next part. Of course, after you set up your drilling rig, you need to start your transportation cycle, and we don't have anything set for this just yet. So we're going to go back to drill rig 04. Then I'm going to look for my remote control PQR for Atmo 4, like that. And I'm going to start by taking control. This is the view from the camera, and I can definitely start with an GPS. New from current, add that for now. And this is going to be Atmo drone for mining. So this is at the mining sites. And then I need to set one up above here as well. So I'm going to activate the engines. We're going to unlock. We're going to go straight up. Let's go straight up, not too much this time, 100 meters, maybe just a touch more. I'm gonna press I again. We're going to go to GPS, new from current, and this is going to become Atmo drone 04 above mining. That's good. And then I am gonna press F so that I get my view from it. And then I'm just slowly going to push myself down 60 meters. I can still see the height meters, so that should be okay. I got my hand on the mouse, but looks like we are alright. And straight towards this. Yep. And then I'm going to reconnect to make sure that we grab... Oh, and I'm gonna turn the engines off for now to make sure that we grab everything that's being produced, which we can find back in Drilling Rig 04 inventory. This is full, so now things should be pushed within the drone. Look at that, connector is full. And at this point, medium cargo container is full as well, as we are now starting to fill up the large container. I'm not sure, how the capacity in all of this is going to work. That's maybe for later, but Atmo Drone 4 is now ready to be programmed for the return trip home and for our automatic mining. This is so cool, guys. This is the dream, really. Let's get to it. That means that I got to go back here, and then I have to take its remote control for Atmo 4, and it's currently at mining. So what do we have to do? First of all, we have to set this one to one way. It's using the camera. We're going to put its speed limit, we'll take 7, something that shouldn't create damage or problems. And then of course I have to find a waypoint. Where do we go from here? Atmo 4 above mining. And where do we go then? Above base. Then we go to base. Then we go back to above base. Then we go back to above mining. And then we go to mining. So that is its cycle programmed in. Where does it have to do stuff? Well, specifically, we have to set up actions at base. So we are going to set up actions. What do we want this guy to do? First of all, we want you to activate the first timer block. Start that one. Then we want you to take the remote control for Atmo 4. And we want you to turn the autopilot off so that you're going to sit still at your place of operation. Then we're going to take our timer block, give you a 2-second timer, set up the actions to start the next timer block, start, and we want you to turn the engines off. No, maybe first lock. Yeah, first we want you to lock. So we have a connector for Atmo 4. Oh man, I'm gonna have to rename these two as well, by the way. And we want you to lock it down. Yep. Then we want you to take your thrusters and to toggle these off. And then we'll move on to the next control block, timer block 2, who will give it an order to stay there for, let's just try to play it safe here again, 5 minutes to recharge the battery. And we want you to just start the next timer block, which is number 3. Press start. When we reach here, timer block 3 is going to take another 2 seconds. 2 seconds, set up actions. And here I do tend to be a little bit more careful, I think. So we're going to first reactivate the thrusters. Toggle block on. And you are going to activate the autopilot on. Oh, god damn it. No, we actually forgot. First of all, of course, you need to start a timer block. Maybe we can do, yeah, I kind of want thrusters first. Put these on. Then autopilot on so that he wants to take off to its next waypoint. And then on the next timer block, 2 seconds later again, we just want you to disconnect connector. Unlock. So that's what we wanted to do once it gets to the base. And then what is pretty handy is that I can just move to the remote control. I can set my actions up at mining, and all I really have to do is do the exact same thing. Start the first timer block and turn your remote control, autopilot off. And then if the full other cycle remains programmed in, because these timer blocks will always do the exact same thing. So this should be ready to go, I think, I hope. Let's see if I can get the experiment going. On take number 2, what do I still need to do for that? Obviously, first of all, we have to start our engines. So let's turn those on. Oh, no, let's turn these off and take the right thrusters. These are now on. Then I need to take the connector. Press unlock. I'll wait a little bit until it turns yellow, but then we just have to go to the remote control. Oh, no, now I need to get back into the right ship. Atmo Drone 4. Remote control Atmo Drone 4. Wish me luck, guys. Autopilot on. So off he goes with the ice to the waypoint above. The rig is doing its thing. He's turning around looking for his next waypoint. And he is heading off towards the cube at 1.8 kilometers. Let's get ahead of him. Oh man, this is cool. I think this is cool. This seems to be working. It's definitely potentially possible. Except that we've been going for 26 minutes. We are going to allow him to do a full cycle. That's where I plan to end the video. In the meantime, what's happening here at the base? We have Atmo 3 that is landing. Let's see if he doesn't have damage. So this guy, I gave it a very high waypoint, and that can be a problem for damage to the connector. But then I give it the order here to lower its speed, which halves it, and now it seems to be fine. There we go. It's connected again, and it should be bringing in more stone. Back there in iron. Signals are not moving, and here signal is not moving either, but now we have another one that's coming in from the back. There's Atmo 4, 1.35 kilometers out, coming in. And so this is really the dream, right? We've got our 4 atmospheric drones that are currently just bringing in resources from wherever I can find them. And then I should be able to control B that rig, because I like the way it's looking at the moment. Maybe we can fine tune it later down the line, but this seems to be potentially my answer. Plans after that, obviously, if we want to take all of that stuff up, large thrusters here, large thrusters there, thruster block here, a second landing pad here for my space drones then. That's the plan after that. And then, yeah, we should be good to go. Oh man, someone is bringing in ice cream in the back. So Atmo 3 has landed. Here is Atmo 1 coming. Quick check if I'm fast enough. Yeah, look at that. This guy is bringing 12,000 units of ice. Finding the waypoints. Landing a little bit violently, but I think he's still okay. We can pretty easily check that. Connector 100%. That one is fine. And then this guy is now 836 meters out. Can I still try to do that programming quickly? Maybe I can. So for Atmo 4, what you can do is you can go to the remote control block. And then what you want is the next thing that he'll reach is here above base. And then we can set up actions. And we can take the remote control block. And we can tell it to lower the speed, which halves the speed once it reaches this place. Then I'll go to the next above base, set up action, and we want you to double the speed or to increase the speed limit again, like that. From there he goes to above mining, so we're going to do that again. Decrease the speed limit so that we have a soft landing, and then we are going to go to above mining here. Set up action, and we're going to re-increase the speed limit. So it's not super precise. I can't set the speeds at which I want them to fly, but this should allow me to up the speed limit that it's currently flying at up to 10 to go a little bit faster. So there it comes at 300 meters. It should be going to this waypoint and then do its landing, while two of its brother drones are here, and drone number 2 back there is also coming back. So should be able to see that one. Inventory, yeah, there we go. More ice for the central cube is coming. And then here, it's for now, it's also ice, but curious to see what the drill is going to do. So let's see here, that's around 50, is already lowering at a very high speed, but now its speed should be halved, while drone number 1 is going back for more. This guy is landing. I think it's okay. I think this was an okay landing right here. That's still at 100%. Stuff will still be deposited, as we are talking about this guy down here that's pulling everything that these drones bring in. So that is perfect. This is so cool, guys. I love this. This is Space Engineers, and that's a real sandbox that you can do stuff like that. The drone design has changed a little bit. I basically got, I think, a couple of engines out here, and that forced me to put the engines up here for a central spot. But it still works fine. And then another change is put the camera down on the connector, because that has allowed me to basically dock this drone for the first time back on the drilling rig without having to set up a seat or anything like that. You can basically go just above the other connector, and then there we go, next drone is landing. Go just above the connector, and you can basically figure it out slowly, moving forward, slight bit down, forward, slight bit down, and things like that. So this guy is going to stay here for 5 minutes. Could go to the cube, and then we'll be looking at the battery quickly, because that's of course the biggest danger. So the battery for Atmo 4 is now at almost 400. That's definitely enough for the next trip, but that's something that I have to keep in mind on its next departure here. It basically, I want it to be above 400 to make sure that it's okay. And so I'm going to head back towards the drilling rig after I pick up some extra fuel for my own jetpack, because that's probably starting to run out. This is still the exact same thing. I love it. This is still the central bit of the cube, and I just have to look for this. But now I have a very nice and steady supply of ice that is coming in without me having to go out there, mine it, put it in a special ship or anything like that. No, it's being produced back there, and it's being brought in and out by my drones. I think that this is very, very, very cool. Number 3 is off. Number 1 is probably landed. Yep, he landed back there. He's got the shortest cycle because he's really close by. And then 2 and 4 are still docked. They have, I think, the longest docking cycles because they have to go practically 2 kilometers out. But he should be coming back pretty soon. So let's head back and take another look at the mobile drill as well, which is of course what this is all about. This video is about the next upgrade, and that next upgrade is this puppy. So I like it. I'm not sure if I can take this guy to space or if it's gonna connect too well to the cube, but I kind of like it well enough that I'm gonna do a Control B on it. Let's hope that this doesn't cause too much trouble. Drill rig 4, there we go. So I could put this back up with 178 block, not too complex. Here I've got a mining drone, I've got the cube drone, which is like my exploration ship, got a defense drone if I want it, got the drill rig, got a tank, and got the big cube set as well. So that's pretty good. And now we just have to wait a little bit. Keep an eye on the drills with 6 pistons going at 0.001. This is going down decently quickly. So that's going. And then we can also take a look at this guy. Alright, already 10% full, so I do think that the drone is gonna have its work cut out for it, but yeah, that's gonna be another potentially at least a couple 100k ice brought in, and then we will see if if I have to fine-tune this or not, but this seems to be working, so that's already pretty cool. We should get pretty close to the 5-minute mark, I think. Oh, you can actually see that as well, something that I've discovered while playing a little bit more together with my brother and showing him the drone setup. So let's see if I can land safely, because now there is a little bit of traffic, so I have to be careful. So there's Atmo 4, if I try to go to that one. So the cube, and then it's gonna be timer blocks. So unfortunately all of these still have the same names. I think they're the trees or not. Nope, maybe it's the twos. Yeah, so this one has another 2 minutes to go. This one has 2 seconds to go. 1, and someone should then quickly unlock. There we go. Unlock and take off. It is that one, and this one has another 15 seconds to go. So we can definitely keep an eye on that one. 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now they're still green, but a couple seconds later, next timer block, 2 seconds later, we should see an undock, and there we go, unlock, and off we go. So it is 2 seconds where the drone is like pushing up against the connector, but I think it tends to give it the speed that it needs to safely disconnect, and that's been going decently well. And here is Atmo 4 heading back to our mobile drilling rig. So that is nice. Normally at speed 10. And this is the final part, the final test for this setup. Will it get to the waypoint, lower itself down slowly, and successfully dock back up with the mobile drilling rig? Very exciting stuff for me personally. I'd love to see that work. So let's try to witness this from far away. So here, you know, you could be like indigenous life form that's watching this happen as a huge cube has landed on your ice lake and has now set up, you could imagine 4 of these guys set up across valuable resources, and then it's just starting to send out drones. That's starting to feel Borg-like, right? I personally think so. That is starting to feel the way the Borg would arrive on a planet, grab those resources, and then, you know, basically put in assembly capabilities within the Borg cube as well, which is something I may work on for the really long term. But for now, final test here, and if this succeeds, then we should have our atmospheric mining setup ready to go if I make a couple more of these drilling rigs to replace those bases, those drilling bases that we set up there. I mean, these are now resources that are basically lost. I could recycle all of them, would take quite a little bit of time and moving it stuff, but we'll see how we do that. Maybe I'll do that, but for now, that's the plan. This guy is the plan. I hope that this works. I hope that this gives me a strong enough connection to get right next to the cube, to connect there, and then to take off with everything. That would be cool. So, drone is not that far away anymore. Let's get back into our Jawa position, hidden from sight. Don't have any weapons with me, so I can't, like, alright, aim at, what the hell, enemy drone coming. Maybe a quick note while the drone is doing its final approach here is that lightning has been a problem. They have hit several of my drill rigs and I've had to do some repairs there. But, you know, just check from time to time if your drones are carrying stuff on the way back. As long as that's good, then these drills should be producing. And now this is the real test. Down she goes. You can see it slowed down, so that's very nice. Boonk. It still sounded decently violent, but he has connected, so that's cool, and it's still alright. That should be good as well. Let's get on here, and let's take a quick final look at the inventory then for drill rig inventory. So that's full, and down here, connector Atmo 4, medium container is 4. He will continue the cycle. Battery power, quick look, that's here. And that's battery Atmo 4. Nope, that's camera. This is the battery. Almost 400. Current input is nothing. So that's all right. That's interesting. If I could get windmills going on this guy, or maybe even a cycle to use some of the ice that I've got here to turn that into power. That's maybe something that I should look into as a bit of an upgrade for this one. Then it could recharge here as well, and we would be absolutely fine. And so the next test is he'll fly back, get on there, and then see how much the battery depletes. But that's probably something that I'd have to consider. So that means that on this one, I'd need to put in an H2O2 generator and an engine. I mean, it's doable. It can definitely be done. I think I'm planning to do that so that the drones can also replenish energy on the drilling rigs when there's no solar power coming in. But there you go, guys. That's going to be it for this video. Drone and mining setup number 4 is up and running. Needs to be fine-tuned, but it's working. So next step, we are going to rebuild or continue the extra build on the cube, and then we are going to make the space versions of all of this stuff. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and as always, I'll see you next time.